Hello students, Namaste. Today we are going to continue the unit evolution. About evolution, we have done that. What is evolution? How life was originated? How evolution took place in two parts, chemical evolution and organic evolution. Then we discussed about different evidences which support that evolution take place. Yes, evolution takes place. And under it we have done number of evidences, and after that, if there is evolution or if evolution takes place, then what is the way of evolution? How does evolution occur? About it, many pioneers have given their effort, and the oldest of them is Lamarck. So today we will study about Lamarck's theory or Lamarckism, Darwin's theory or Darwinism mainly, and we will compare them. But before starting today's lesson, we have to think once about a question I am going to give you. You have to read the question carefully, listen the question carefully, and this question is a little bit long but interesting. Look here what is given. According to the evidence, the neck of the ancestors of the giraffe was not long, but now the giraffes are known as the animal with the longest neck. How could they have long necks? So, from many fossils, it is found that the ancient giraffes were of short necks. But now, at present, giraffes are the animals with the longest neck. How does it happen? Think once. Okay. About this question, we will get answer in different theories because Lamarck as well as Darwin have given the ways of elongation of giraffes' necks. That means how did they elongate? That is explained in both the theories. So what are they? Let's see. But before that, you have to identify the pioneers of the theories of evolution. At first, you have to identify the scholars who have contributed to develop evolution theory. So here the photographs are displaying in front of you. Here's Lamarck. Lamarck is a French philosopher who put forth the first theory of evolution in 1809 AD. 1809 AD. Yes. So that is very earlier. And up to about 50 years, his theory was accepted by the world. And later, next effort was made by Charles Darwin. But before his work, before Charles Darwin and Russell Wallace both presented a paper in a conference. And that paper was based on theory of natural selection. But there were many weaknesses. After 1 year from that paper presentation, Darwin gave a new theory, and the main point of that theory was natural selection. Yes, and he improved something more, and that became famous as Darwin's theory, to which still we are accepting, we are considering about the evolution of organisms on the earth. Okay, and here the last figure is of Hugo de Vries. He is from Holland, and he added about mutation theory in, that means as a gap in Darwin's theory. So let's see one by one. Especially today we will discuss, as I informed you, we will discuss about Lamarck's theory, Darwin's theory. Yes, and about mutation theory you will study in next class. Okay. So at first, Lamarckism. Lamarckism is founded by Lamarck in 1809 AD. Or you can see it was founded by Lamarck in 1809 AD. And the theory was published in a book named Philosophie Zoologique. As I told you, Lamarck is a French philosopher. So this the name of book is also in French, Philosophie Zoologique. And according to this theory, I can say this theory is divided into three main points. The first point is direct environmental effect. So, what is direct environmental effect? Under this point, Lamarck told that every organism is affected by change in environment. The environment is not still, it is not from the origin of the earth as it is at present. Okay, it is changing. So if environment changes, surrounding of an organism changes, that affects directly on the organism, because organisms have to adapt in that environment. And in this adaptation, there are losing, gaining, and modification in organs. That means by this environmental effect, an organism loses some organs or gains some organs or shows modification in its body. So for losing and gaining, you can compare, you can take some examples in your surroundings. You know that those animals which have to survive at Himalayan region, at extreme cold region like yak, sheep, yes, pasmina, that is a type of goat, or you can say Himalayan goat, another goat. So they have long hairs on their body. So why do they have long hairs? The buffaloes found in our Terai region, hilly region, they do not have so thick hair, long hair on their body. Why? Because they have to adapt, they have to live in different climatic condition, in different environment. Those who have to live in cold region, they have the thick layer of hair on their body to protect from cold. And those who live in temperate region, or you can say in hot regions, they do not have such hair. Yes. Okay. Another example. So here environment causes it. Environment makes thick hair on the body of what? Yak and sheep. And environment helps to lose the hair from the body of buffaloes. Yes. So in this way you can understand about direct environmental effect. Okay. Now next one is use and disuse of organs. Under this point, Lamarck told that in new environment, organisms use some organs more and some organs less. Those organs which are used more, they grow more. It was his argument that he told that those organs which are used more, they grow more. And those which are useless, they grow less and ultimately they get lost. Yes. So use and disuse of organ is also another cause, another region, another step for the evolution. Okay. For example, in our communities, there are many people who have to use arms strongly to beat things, to break stones, to break metals. Yes, you have seen that some people, blacksmiths, have to hit on hot iron by using hammer. Different workers use their arms, so they have strong muscles in their arms. Very common thing you can get in your body. You measure your arm, what is the thickness of right arm and what is the thickness of left arm. You will find different. You will find different. You can do it. Yes. It is because the arm which is used more, that has a stronger muscle, and that which is used less, that has weaker muscle. That's why we can apply more force by that hand which is usually used. If you are right-handed person, you can grip anything by right hand by more force than by left hand. Have you experienced ever? It is found. If anybody catches you in your right hand, you can escape by applying more effort on your arm. But if you are caught at left hand, which is not used by you often, then that is not escaped easily, because you cannot apply more effort by that arm. Yes, it is because of use and disuse of organs. According to him, and in our practice also it is found. And we have learnt in vestigial organs that there are some organs inside our body which are disappearing because of their no function, because they are not in action inside our body, so they are disappearing. Do you remember what were they? Nictitating membrane, yes, canine teeth, hair on body, muscles to move ears, vermiform appendix, yes, hair on our body I told, yes, so vermiform appendix. So they are some vestigial organs, tail vertebra in our backbone. So they are some vestigial organs which are disappearing because they have no function. So that is also one supporting point to the Lamarckism. Yes, but it is not found always true, because this point was checked by some scientist, by some experiment. There was Wiseman, and he did one experiment to test it, that really use and disuse of organs function. For that, he put a pair of rats in a cage and cut their tails and studied up to their 21st generation. That means they found babies, again their babies found another. That means this generation, from generation to generation, he formed, I can say he had the offspring of that rats. And after every birth, he used to cut their tails. And before cutting the tails, he used to measure the length. He found that in 21st generation also, even the size of tail was not reduced even 1 millimeter. That was as it is. So it is not perfectly working. Another thing, some people, especially Chinese girls, they like to have their small sole, that means small feet, and usually they have than ours. For it, they wear that metallic shoes, means the upper region of the shoes, upper region which is found above the feet, that is of metallic wires. So to control the growth of that feet, they used to wear such shoes. And really their feet is found shorter. But when they born babies, the size of the sole, size of the feet or sole, you can say sole of the feet, they are about equal to our babies. So why it is not modifying? Okay. If use and disuse of organ is in action always, if all the used organs grow, I am not using my hair. Why it is growing? I am not using my these hairs on my face. Every day I have to cut them. But they are more than other parts. Yes. So why so happens? If by disuse of organs are lost. So some of them, there is partially reality. You can say that it is partially real, and later that's why this theory was rejected. Yes, okay, later we'll discuss some more points about its criticism. Let's see what is the third one. Third point is inheritance of acquired characters. So here you have to understand acquired characters and hereditary characters. Hereditary characters are those which transfer from parents into offspring. For example, my face is like my parents, my skin color is like my parents, yes, and my physique is like to my parents. That may be parent, immediate parent, or you can say grandparent of father side or mother side, yes. But okay, so that is due to what? Hereditary characters. Heredity. The term heredity you will be taught later. Heredity, and the characters obtained from parents is called as hereditary character. All the characters are not hereditary. After birth, you have to learn how to write. You have to learn how to run fast. You have to learn that how can you jump high. You have to learn different type of skills. They are not by birth. So those characters which are gained after the birth by the use and disuse of organs, especially you can say by use of organs, they are called as acquired characters. So here Lamarck told that the acquired characters are transferred into next generation, that is inheritance. Transformation of character from parents into offspring is called as inheritance. Okay, so it was about Lamarckism. Now Lamarckism can be understood by this example. He gave an example of giraffe. As I told you, the question was also, inquiry question was also related with it. So how did Lamarck explain about the elongation of the neck of giraffes? He told that firstly, all the giraffes were short-necked. When their number was less and grass was enough on the ground, their food was enough for them. But when their number was increased and scarcity of grass was found on ground, then they started to eat folioses. Folioses means dale ghas, root ko paat. Yes, so they begin to eat folioses by stretching their necks, because for that they had to stretch their necks. And in each generation, their neck was increased, and nowadays they became what? Long-necked. Here, I would like to discuss about one community. I think they are from South Africa. There are some communities in which girls like their long necks. Sometimes it is shown, it is telecasted in TV also, in National Geography, etc. So they wear rings in their neck to elongate their neck, because those girls who have long necked, they are considered more beautiful. That's why they do that. Yes. So, and really their neck is found elongated and found longer than our girls, our women's. It is found. Yes. So here, but it doesn't mean that when they born a baby, the babies are with long neck. It is not always true. Okay. So in this way, Lamarckism was supported by this example. And after Lamarckism, some people put forth some questions related with it. They told that a living being cannot develop any organ according to its wish and need. As the animals who live in hilly region, Himalayan region, they have thick fur. It was told here, yes. But here, it is not true that we can develop any organ according to our wish and need. Next, all the acquired characters are not inherited into new generation. It doesn't mean that if any person is wrestler and she had thick, that means strong muscles in her and his body, so her baby also will be with strong muscle. Not necessary. May or may not. All the babies of a singer may not be singer. Yes, they are acquired characters. Okay. Next, Lamarck has not proved experimentally that use and disuse of organs can modify organisms. Yes, so they are criticism of Lamarckism. Okay, what have you learnt? Let's see. Here are some questions. Define acquired characters. Yes, very easily. Just you have learnt those characters which are obtained by use and disuse of organs are called as acquired characters. Name the scholars who have contributed for the theory of evolution. How many? Yes, four. They are four, and they are who? Lamarck, Darwin, Russell Wallace, and Hugo de Vries. Okay. Now, next, what kind of changes will happen in the body of an organism due to the use and disuse of organs? And here you have to make basis of Lamarck's theory. Yes. So it is easy. Those organs which are useless, they get lost, and those which are used more, they grow more. Yes. Okay. And last one, what was the contribution of Hugo de Vries in the theory of evolution? About Hugo de Vries or Hugo de Vries, both are pronounced. Hugo de Vries, very simply you can say. So his theory is mutation theory, about which you have to read in detail, but I introduced you that he contributed in evolution by giving mutation theory. Okay. Now, students, we are going to see about Darwinism. Now, in Darwinism, this diagram is given. What are they? Look, here is trunk of tree. Here is another trunk of tree with some creatures on them. Here it is clear what is it. Yes, it is a moth, and same moth is here, not spreading its wings. That is another thing, doesn't matter. But look here, the environment, the surrounding of this moth is very similar to its body, but here it can be seen clearly. So how does this event relate to Darwinism? Let's see. Russell Wallace reported the same view of Darwinism in 1858 AD, before the 1 year of Darwinism given. Russell Wallace and Darwin both together presented a paper in which the main cause of evolution was told natural selection. What is natural selection? We'll do later. Darwinism is founded by Darwin in 1859 AD. Look, 1809 AD, Lamarckism. 50 years after this theory, Darwinism was given. When Lamarckism was given, then Darwin was born. The birth year of Darwin is 1809. And at the age of 50 years, he founded Darwinism, okay, about which the world is studying at present also. The theory was published in a book named Origin of Species. His book name was Origin of Species. Okay, who was Darwin? I did not tell you. Darwin was an English naturalist. Okay. And according to this theory, here this theory is divided into 5 points. First point is enormous fertility. Enormous means in a very large number, huge number. So under it, he told that any organism can reproduce in a very large number. And he gave example of the slowest breeder on the earth, on the land, elephant. He told that a pair of elephants can form millions of elephants in 300 years. Okay, he showed it by calculation. The slowest breeder can do that. And if it happens, then after a few hundred years, the condition should come that there will not be place for the elephants to stay, not to sit, to stand, to stay side by side. But it is not found. About that we will discuss later, doesn't matter. So what will be about the insects who lay eggs in 100 numbers? 100 of eggs are laid by them. About half, you can say 500, 400 eggs are laid at once. And they lay eggs number of times per year. Then instead of air, oxygen and carbon dioxide, there should be the insects. But it is not found so. That is another part about which we have to discuss. But anyway, organisms have very high tendency of reproduction, which is known as what? Enormous fertility. Next one is struggle for existence. All the living beings do not survive. they have to struggle to survive, which is called as a struggle for existence. If this struggle is in between the organism of same species, then it is called as intraspecific struggle. Intraspecific struggle. For example, in a ground, there are number of goats. They are grazing. Ground, I can say, what you can say, lawn, and they are grazing the grasses, and they do competition for their food. If number is more, then stronger one tries to get the better food. Same thing happens in our toll. Ducks, wild ducks. Wild ducks in what sense? Those who are not, that means domestic, street ducks I'm talking about. So they compete for their food. The stronger one gets food. If anybody gives food, the stronger one tries to get it. So that struggle is called as what? Intraspecific struggle. This struggle is done for food, reproduction, shelter. Yes? Okay. If this competition is in between different species, for example, for grasses, goats, cows, and buffaloes are struggling. Yes, that is for the same food, different type of species are struggling. Then it is called as inter-specific struggle. And the struggle also may be environmental, in which living organisms struggle for protection from natural environmental events. In flood, organisms have to struggle. In storms, yes, organisms have to struggle. Yes. So struggle is done for the survival. That's why Herbert Spencer gave another term for it. For struggle for existence and natural selection, he gave a term that is called as survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. The organism who has suitable variation about which we have to discuss, and can struggle for its existence. That is the fittest, and only the fittest survives. Yes. So he used another term, survival of the fittest, for natural selection. That will come later, but it is related with what? Struggle. So all the organisms have to struggle to survive. Okay. Now, next one is variation and heredity. Darwin told that organisms have variation. All the organisms are not of the same types. They have different properties, different characteristics. And these characteristics are transferred into next generation. That is called as heredity, to which I used inheritance. I used as inheritance in Lamarck's theory. Yes. So, suitable variations are transferred into next variations. The variations make an organism better in its surrounding, in its environment. Yes. Example it will be given later, don't worry. Natural selection. Those organs which have suitable variation and which can struggle for their existence, they can survive. And this survival is termed as what? Natural selection, about which what did Herbert Spencer told? Survival of the fittest. Yes. And because of these regions, main thing is, look here, variation, and here natural selection, which is based on variation. And because of these main things, main factors, the organisms modify their organs. And if this modification takes place in each generation, after number of generations, a new variety, a new species is originated. So origin of new species. Yes, origin of new species. That is just a minute. So origin of new species means that is also termed as speciation. Speciation. This term is also in use. That is formation of speciation, formation of new species. Okay. So it was about Darwinism. Now, Darwinism, how did Darwin explain about his justified his theory? He told that due to variation at first, giraffes were of long-necked as well as of short-necked. Till there was enough grass, no problem for their food. But when their number was increased and there was scarcity of grasses on the ground, then only the long-necked giraffes were able to eat foliages, and the short-necked unable to get food, and they died. That means these long-necked could graze on ground as well as they could eat from trees, but they were unable to get food from the trees. So in the lack of food, gradually they died. So here main cause, main reason was told as what? Natural selection and variation. Okay. Criticism of Darwinism. Darwin's theory is silent about the presence of vestigial organs. If there is no reality in Lamarckism, then why vestigial organs are found in our body? He did not explain anything about it. Origin of variation is not explained clearly by Darwinism. Why do variation occur? That is not explained by this theory. Natural selection is not the sole cause of speciation. It is only a guiding factor. New species also arise due to mutation. What is mutation? We will read in next class. Okay. And it is not true that natural selection always selects only useful variation. Okay. Sometimes, or you can say, it is not necessary that only useful variations transfer from one generation to another generation. Variation may be useful and harmful both, but only useful variations support the organism to survive in their environment. So here in natural selection, only how that means where these natural useful variations are only transferred and harmful variations are irradiated for the next generation. It is not possible, both transfer, but thing is that if any organism has useful variation, then chance of survival increases. Okay. Now we have to compare Lamarckism and Darwinism. Very interesting way I am going to give here. Look here. This is one condition according to Lamarck's explanation. It is another condition which is about to Darwin's opinion. So you can find the difference. Here both of them, both the giraffes are short-necked, but here two giraffes are long-necked and two are short-necked. Here variation is shown. Yes. In second, these giraffes are trying to stretch their neck to eat foliages and they became long-necked. That is according to Lamarckism. And Darwinism says that no, it is not by the regular practice on the neck, but those who had suitable variation means those who were long-necked, they were survived and others died. Here, look here, dying. Yes, dead animal is shown here. And finally, all the giraffes became what? Long-necked. So it is the main differences between Lamarckism and Darwinism. Here, what is similarity and what is difference? You have to find out, you have to make note about it. Okay. Now, a project work I am giving you. The same diagram which is shown here, you have to make on a chart and you have to write text also at the side or below them to explain the facts shown by the diagram. Okay, so that work is your project work. Now, at first, we have to see that what have we learned today. Today, we discussed that theories of evolution were supported by four pioneers. They are Lamarck, Darwin, Russell Wallace, Hugo de Vries, and out of them mainly we have studied about two theories, Lamarckism and Darwinism, and the work of Russell Wallace is also touched. Yes. So, in Lamarckism, was given by Lamarck, it is told that evolution takes place in three causes because of three reasons. First one is direct environmental effect, second one is use and disuse of organs, and third one is what? Inheritance of acquired characters. And in Darwinism, we studied that evolution takes place because of following five reasons, five steps, I can say five factors. First one is enormous fertility. Second one is struggle for existence. Third one is what? Variation and heredity. Fourth one, natural selection. And finally, fifth one is origin of species. And both of them have some drawbacks which were studied in criticism. Some points of criticism were also given. Now, let's see what have you understood. Okay. Who founded theory of natural selection? Charles Darwin, Lamarck, Hugo de Vries, or Gregor John Mendel? Yes. So, I think you have guessed easily. Charles Darwin. Next one, which of following supports Lamarckism? Survival of the fittest, variation, use and disuse of organs, or enormous fertility? Use and disuse of organs. All the rest are from Darwin's theory. Yeah. In a garden nearby a dense industrial area, population of white moths was found less than the dark colored moth. Which of following is responsible for it? First one, A number, direct environmental effect. B number, natural selection. C number, use and disuse of organs. D number, inheritance of acquired characters. Little bit difficult, you have to think. Yes, and it is closely related with the diagram I shown you, two moths on the different colored trunks. Do you remember? Yes, one was dark colored and another was light colored trunk, and moth was same. So, I think now you have got the answer. That is what? Natural selection. Okay. Next, blacksmiths have strong muscles in arms. Which of the following points is closer to the event? Disuse of organs, struggle for existence, use of organs, or environmental effect? Use of organs. Okay, students, after that we have to do some subjective questions. The first question is define direct environmental effect. Yes. Next one, you just have to copy the question and answer in your copy to show your teacher. What are major differences between Lamarckism and Darwinism? Third one is explain natural selection of organisms with suitable examples. And the last question is state mutation theory and analyze its importance in evolution. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. Namaste.